Hi guys, this is Marissa and welcome back to my channel, The Budgeting Wife, where we talk about all things money, budgeting, and debt-free living. Today I'm sharing a video with you guys to give you the 3 rules for moving back home with your parents. So if you're in this situation where you're thinking about moving back home to work on paying off debt or do some serious saving, I have some 3 tips for you. But before we get into it, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're new, and it's totally free. Also, I would love to have you as part of my YouTube community. And with that, let's get straight into the video. So, moving back home with your parents, it's not something that any of us necessarily plan to do, but it is something that may present a great opportunity. I myself have a little bit of experience in this, of that my husband and I moved back in with my parents after a year of marriage so we could work on paying off our student loans. To share a little bit of that story with you guys, we got married in July of 2015, right after I graduated college. We had over $80,000 of student loan debt. And that first year of marriage, we rented a tiny apartment and just worked really hard at paying it off, and we were able to pay off over $30,000 that first year. And as we were about to renew the lease on our apartment, our rent was going up $200 a month. The apartment that we were in was not nice at all. It had a lot of issues. It wasn't where we wanted to be. And so my parents reached out and said, hey, why don't you come stay with us? You can rent for cheap and work on paying off your loans faster. And it was super sweet of them to allow us to come into their home, and we thought about it a lot, and we decided that that was going to be the right decision for us. So we moved in with them in August of 2016, and we were able to work really hard on paying off our loans. Again, we still paid rent, but it was a lesser amount, and so we lived with them for a year. And so for that year that we were living with them, we were still paying a little bit of rent, but it was great because we were able to put so much money to our loans. And by October of 2017, we were officially and fully debt-free. $87,000 of student loans were gone, and a huge thanks to that was living with my parents. And by November of 2017, we had found our own apartment again, which is what I'm in now. We absolutely love living back on our own. But yes, moving in with your parents, it can be super great for your finances, but it isn't always easy. So here are 3 tips if you are considering moving back home. Tip number 1, set an end date. If you're going in to live with your parents, make sure that you set an end date for yourself and for them. I think that it's possible to do something that's hard if you know that there is an end in sight. So make sure that you are going into it saying that you're going to be there for 6 months, a year and a half. Set a date. And if you're a couple months off from there, that's fine. But if you just move in saying, we're just gonna live with them and like figure it out, no, that's not a plan. So make sure that you're going into it with a plan, with an end date in mind, and that you're working on the reason why you are living with them. Be that paying off debt, saving for a down payment on a house, any of those sorts of situations. Tip number 2 is to set expectations, and this goes for both parties. Before you move in, make sure you sit down with your parents and make sure that everyone is under the same expectations of how much rent is going to cost, who's going to be buying groceries, household supplies, are you going to contribute to that, are you going to buy your own? Set expectations for either having friends over, not having friends over, being out late, like what does that look like? If you're living under someone else's roof, they actually do have a little bit of say into your life. So make sure that that's something that you feel comfortable with and are able to set the expectations and be open and honest on the front end so that nothing comes up to be an unexpected problem. And tip number 3 is that both parties need to have each other's respect. So this can be shown in so many different ways, but I think that having great mutual respect for one another while living together is so important. So figuring things out like who's going to be picking up, the chores that are to be done, making sure that you're not walking into someone else's room unannounced, even though you're just still in the same house. Be sure that you're setting emotional boundaries with each other to make sure that your lives aren't too intermingled, as if you are an adult moving back home with your parents, you still need to be an adult. So what is my overall thought on moving back home with your parents? It can be totally great if both parties are willing to be respectful, if expectations are set, and everyone has a mutual understanding of what the next period of time is going to look like. My parents are great, and they really gave us our privacy, and they also were able to set great expectations of what it would look like for household chores and privacy, how much we were going to be paying in rent. All of that was done on the front end, so I think that made it a lot easier for us to be able to move in with them. So if both parties are on board and comfortable with it, I think that moving back home for a short period of time to pay off debt and work on your finances is a really great opportunity. I know that it was so helpful for us and it has been for many other people, and I honestly don't think that there's anything wrong with that. But if you are living at home for like 3 or 4 years as a grown adult with a job and you're totally fine, time to move out, pack your bags. So I hope this video was a little bit helpful if you're an adult and looking to move back home with your parents, how you can make that work a little bit easier. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also, leave me a comment down below and let me know if you've ever considered moving back in with your parents, or maybe you have, and what did that look like? Or do you think I'm crazy for living with my parents as a grown adult? I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments down below, and with that, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.